Hello, we are going to go through problems on page 163, 4 through 12, all of them. We're using the quadratic formula, which is this. And this has definitely areas to plug in. So our A value is 2, our B value is 5, and our C value is 3. As long as it's equal to 0, we can use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to get x equals negative, and then plug 5 in. That's our B value, plus or minus 5 squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So let's work this out a little bit. So 5 squared is 25, and then that's going to give me negative 8, negative 24 over 4. So my get to negative 5 plus or minus square root 1 over 4. Negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 is 1. So negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 over 4 equals negative 1. That's one answer. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6 over 4, which reduces to negative 3 over 2. Watch your signs when you're doing these problems, okay? All right, it's equal to 0. Quadratic formula work. My A value is 1. My B value is 2. My C value is negative 13. And we know that x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So I get negative 2 plus or minus 2 squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. So I get negative 2 plus or minus 4. And negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 13 is going to be positive. That's 26. That's 52 over 2. So that's negative 2 plus or minus root 56 over 2. And let's see, does 56 break down into two perfect squares? I think 4 works. 4 goes into 56 14 times. So I'm going to change this to negative 2 plus or minus 4 root 4, oh, excuse me, 2 root 14, because square root of 4 is 2. And then I can reduce. 2's all get reduced. So my answer to this is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 14. That's what x equals. Number 6, it's equal to 0. My a value is 1. My b value is 6. My c value is negative 5. So now x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. All right, so I get x equals negative 6 plus or minus square root 6 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. So that's x is equal to negative 6 plus or minus 6 times 6 is 36. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20 over 2. Hey, didn't we just break down 56? 56 was 4 times 14, wasn't it? So that means I'm going to have this be negative 6 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2. So I get 2 root 14 over 2. And then we can reduce everything outside. 2 goes in itself once, goes into 6 3 times. So my answer is negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 14. That's what x equals. Number 7 is equal to 0. So my a value is 1. My b value is negative 2. My c value is 7. So we know that x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I know that x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. So I get negative 2 is 2, plus or minus negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 7 times 4 is, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28 over 2. So that's going to give me 2 plus or minus negative 24 over 2. So two things are going to take place here. We're going to get I as part of our answer, and then root 24 breaks down to 4 times 6, so square root of 4 is 2, so I get 2 root 6. So 2 root 6, so I 2 root 6. And then we can go ahead and reduce this. 2, everything outside reduces. So I get 1 plus or minus I root 6 is my answer. Number 8, it's equal to 0, so my a value is 1, my b value is negative 3, my c value is 1. Use the quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So let's plug in what we know. I get negative 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. So I get negative 3 is 3, plus or minus. That's going to give me positive 9 minus 4 over 2. So my answer is 3 plus or minus square root 5 over 2. And that's as far as you can go. That is my answer. Number 9, it's equal to 0. So a equals 3, b equals negative 11, c equals negative 2. We know that x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's plug in what we know. I have negative 11 I'm plugging in, plus or minus the square root of negative 11 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. So x equals 11 plus or minus 11 squared. 11 times 11 is 121. Negative 4, that's times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 times 2 is positive 24 over 6. So I get 11 plus or minus the square root of 145, I believe, over 6. And let's see over here. Does 145 break down to a perfect square? Let's see. Maybe 9 goes into it? No, 9 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work. Let's see. I got 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144. So none of these are going to work. 49 times 3 is not going to work. 36 times 5, 36 times 7 maybe? No, that's not going to work. 25 is not going to work. 16 times 9? No, that's not going to work. I think that might be our overall answer. I don't think we can go much further. Number 10, it's not equal to 0, so I have to bring this 2 over by subtracting it. So I'm going to get x squared minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. I know that x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I know my a value is 1, my b value is negative 2, my c value is negative 2. So I know that x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I know that I have negative 2 is 2 plus or minus negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 2 is positive 8 over 2. So that's going to give me x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 12 over 2. We can break root 12 down to 4 times 3. So that's going to give me 2 root 3. So I'm going to replace 12 with 2 root 3 over 2. And then I can go ahead and cancel 1, 1, and 1. So my answer is 1 plus or minus root 3. That's what x equals. Number 11, it's not equal to 0, so I have to subtract 12x from both sides. Those cancel, so I get 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 0. I'm curious. This is a perfect square and this is a perfect square. Do you think our method would work where we could have 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3? Does that give me the 12x if I multiply the outside and inside? So 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. This one worked. I don't have to use a quadratic formula on it. So I get 2x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. Divide by 2. So I get two answers. I get x equals 3 over 2, and I also get x equals 3 over 2 because I had the exact same thing. This is one of those double roots. If you use the quadratic formula, you're going to get the same answer. It'll be plus or minus 0 when you plug it in. Let's try this one. I need to move my 2x squared over here. So I'm going to get negative 2x squared plus 24x minus 33. These are pretty big numbers. 66. I Oh, let's try it. A equals -2, B equals 24, C equals -33. So x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I get x equals -24. 24 times 24 is 576. That's -8. This one is getting too big. Let's not worry about it. The answer's, I mean, it might work out, but it's just an ugly answer. Okay, so that should take care of that page. I would say, would you, for tonight, work on page 164 and do 13 through 18, all of those. That way we can make sure it's all good. If you have any questions you have extra for me, ask during class. I'm happy to take care of you. Have a nice day.